So good morning, my name is Florence Beaujard. I am working in Airbus design office and I am specialized in cockpit design for pilots. So pilots have their own language. It is a language of specialty. They have their vocabulary, phraseology, and so it's a starting point for us. Okay, so we have this constraint to take into account. But during cockpit design, we have to define messages, label for comments, and so on with a lot of constraint and few numbers of characters. Okay, so that is why we have decided to control the language in order to provide text which are clear and unambiguous. So why? First of all, because of safety. We have to provide a safe aircraft and good design. And the second reason is because we have to demonstrate to the airworthiness authorities that our display text, label, and messages are clear and unambiguous. We have a specific human factor rules for that. Okay. So that's why we have decided to define a control language. What is a control language? So here I notice the definition given by the English, the simplified English from AECMA, which is a control language defined for maintenance people and not pilots. And the definition given is control language is in fact restrictive vocabulary and syntactical rules in order to control the language and so to decrease ambiguity, synonymy, and so on. So for us, it means trying to introduce in our design process some linguistic requirements and constraints for designers. So it was quite challenging to make thousands and thousands of engineers taking into account linguistics constraints. So we succeeded, nevertheless, but a lot of action remains to do. So now back to the beginning of the control language in Airbus cockpit. Our objective was, in fact, to reduce potential ambiguities and also to improve understanding of text by non-native English speakers. So all the text in cockpit are displayed in English, okay? But we have pilots having a lot of different nationalities and mother tongues. For example, some airlines like Emirates has about 80 different nationality of pilots. So that's why it's important for us to have simple English and standardized English. For that, we took some principles. The first one is one word, one meaning. And so for one meaning, only one word. So trying to suppress the synonymy. One word, one short form, because as I said, we have constraint and few numbers of characters just to express important information like the type of failure in the aircraft. And that could be written in about 24 characters, for example. So it's quite restrictive, and we apply abbreviation, ellipses, and so on. So we try to have very transparent abbreviations. And the last principle is one meaning, one order of words. So we worked deeply the syntax and the syntactical rules. From that, we define the control language we apply to define the cockpit. And so we get, at the end, one lexicon with recommended words, recommended abbreviation, and non-recommended words. And we have syntactical rules, explaining what are the preferred way to phrase things. To get this control language, we work in a deep collaboration with pilots, instructors who have the habits of pilots of different mother tongues, but also with students in order to address a lot of different mother tongues, especially for syntactical aspect, in order to find the good and the optimal order of words to be well understood. What we have today, we have one control language to display cockpit text. Obviously, we have a corpus, and that is more the concern of some industry, like Airbus. Our corpus are confidential. Most of, for example, cockpit text, they are confidential. And but we have our own corpus, and we have rules to write this corpus. We have developed a lot of tools, as we deal with a lot of text. We need tools. We have developed tools to extract displayed text in cockpit from the designer's specification. So it is important to explain that when a designer are defining their equipment, and so the equipment which will be subcontracted most of the time, within the specification they explain which kind of text will be displayed to the pilot. And then we need to be able to perform linguistic analysis. We need to collect all this text from specification. That is why we develop tools to extract automatically the text which will be displayed to the pilot from the specification written by designers. In addition, we developed checkers. We have been forced somewhere to develop our own checkers, linked to our own control language, because the display texts are so coded that we do not have in the market checkers that can be used on our texts. And we have a database with corpus and configuration management and recommendation as well, because when we analyze display text on a linguistic point of view, we can give designer recommendation, telling them do not write this text like this, but prefer another way to write it. And so we have database of recommendation to be sure that at the end the designer will take into account linguistic recommendation. And in addition, we have some tools to help designers to properly apply our control language and so our linguistic recommendation, and to guide them to apply the good syntactical rules and to apply properly the lexicon. What we would like to do is now try to work as well and try to control the language used by designers when they are specifying equipment. That is a concern that can be shared by a lot of industry, I assume, because a lot of industry have to define and describe what they want when they define some equipment. And so for that, designers are writing specification. Often we can say that specification can be ambiguous. And so the subcontractors and the supplier can misunderstood the specification and the requirements. So they provide back to the industry some equipments with wrong functioning, because they misunderstood the requirement and the specification. This costs a lot to a lot of industry, because at the end someone has to pay the modification to come back into the right direction, either for example for us aircraft manufacturers or suppliers, because it depends on negotiation and so on. So it could be interesting to try to guide designer to and to control the way to write specification by trying to define a non-ambiguous vocabulary and try to standardize the way to write requirements during design. Okay. So that is one example that could be shared, I'm sure, by a lot of industry, and one proposal. Okay.
Thank you.